Facebook's Creative Hub is a valuable tool if you're looking to have your campaigns launch as smooth as possible. I say this because to me, the main value of this tool is to help look at your creative assets and your ad copy so you can help plan all of your ads before ever launching your campaign. You can also invite collaborators and teammates to come and review and approve any ads before they go live. There's a lot more to it. So in this video, I want to show you all the benefits of Creative Hub and how you can use it within your campaigns to make sure that you have all the best looking placements as possible before your campaign ever launches. Once you're in Ads Manager, head on over to your left-hand navigation. And looking at my mouse, I'm hovering right over All Tools. Now, depending on how often you use Creative Hub, you may see it in your shortcuts up above, but if you're brand new to the tool, go under Advertise and you will see it lives right here. Okay, a couple things before we get started. A quick one, getting it out of the way. If you work for an agency or you manage multiple accounts, you can click on this drop down and start jumping in between the accounts that you have access to. For me, it defaulted to the Facebook account that we were in when I was an ads manager right before we got here, but just understand that's an option. Now, this is just an account I use to just mess around and learn in a long time ago and to make these videos, so I don't have anyone else attached to the account. But if you want to invite other people from your teams or maybe have a boss, another coworker review these creatives before anything goes live, you can add a collaborator. So that's me. I already have access, but you can search for other people in your business manager portfolio and invite them to review whatever you're making within Creative Hub. Once I have a mock-up example built, I can show you how this collaborator feature can be helpful. For now, I'm just going to get out of it, and then let's start creating the first mock-up. Yes, everything is blank because we have nothing added to it. And more important than you think will be the ad name. Try not to put something super basic like version 1, version 2, version 3, especially if you plan on using this feature a lot. Come up with something a little bit more specific. Paste it in our video title up here. You will see it's up above in bold. I always like to put what type of ad format it's going to be. You can see we have the options here. Single image or video or carousel. Yes, single image and video are within the same option, but for myself, I still like to differentiate within the ad title. It makes it a lot easier to see in our reports. Okay, but going back up, of course, you need to select a page. And once we selected the page, it automatically chose the corresponding Instagram account. Now for this one example, I'm going to be using video, so I'm going to leave the format as this option. And then I'm going to select our creative. I already said video, and there's nothing uploaded yet. So I'm just going to upload one creative. For now, that's a square video, and I'm going to click next. I did skip a part where it asked me to trim the video. It is a little longer, but I just want to keep moving ahead. And here's one of the beauties about Creative Hub is that right when we're uploading our asset, in this case, I only uploaded a square video. And we're seeing within the three main formats, of course, the square video is going to look great on square, but already we see it's not going to look the best on vertical and horizontal placements. Now, if you're thinking, you can already kind of see this in the ad preview when you're building the ads individually within an ad set. Yes, that's true. But it's really nice if you can knock it all in one place. I think Creative Hub makes it a lot easier to make all these corrections before you even get to the point of creating the campaign. So when you're looking at updating or fixing the creative that you want to use within your ads, you have a couple options. If I go over to the vertical one, we can look at cropping it, and I can really just move this around. Initially, it's just side to side, and we already see in the video that we have, it's really not going to work. Unless I trim the video that includes portions with no text at all. I can try to make things smaller, but if we try to play the video, these videos do have subtitles, you can see this isn't the best bet. Cropping is most likely going to work a lot better if you're using images, and those images don't have a lot of text. So again, in our case, cropping is not going to work. That'll leave us with the second option of replacing this square image for the vertical placements entirely. Since we only uploaded the one video, I'm going to have to upload another one. While that one's uploading, you're probably thinking in your head, I'm going to have to replace the video for the horizontal placement too. So let's just get that out of the way. Okay, the horizontal one is still processing. Probably going to be done by the time I'm done talking, but we are still in the vertical placement. We are replacing that one. So I'm going to select the vertical video I uploaded, then click back. Lesson learned on this one, when I was uploading horizontal video, it replaced my other ones with the most recent one I was uploading. So now I have to replace the other one. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that quick. So now I have the proper video specs in the proper placements. We don't see any of the squared white space in any of my ad previews as of right now. I'm good with this, and I'll continue and go to next. In here we see the main text fields that you would have to input if you were building these ads within each of the ad sets. So for now, I'm just going to add something in. Okay, in this case, more straight to the point copy. Maybe the tone of the copy would be another idea that you would want to put within the ad name. Completely up to you. Depends on what type of ad testing you do. But then you click next, because now we get to the option to approve or decline any of the Advantage Plus enhancements within the ad. And depending on which creative formats you use, you're going to have different options. So in our case with video, we have sound, we have music. So some of the audio enhancements aren't included. Facebook's just being mad at me in general today, so a lot of these aren't fully loading. So I just had to say something, now they pop up. Do I want Meta to look at enhancing the video? Fine. All these are going to be on by default pretty much anyway. Do I want them to mess with my text? What they say is an improvement. If you don't want it, you can turn it off. Do they want to crop my video to fit into more placements? Well, no. I selected 3 different videos for a reason, so I would look at turning this off. So review the enhancements, leave the ones on that you want, turn off the ones that you don't want. Understand it's going to apply to the entire ad. Once you have your option selected, you can click done. And now that pretty much all the elements are in place, we get to have an idea of how this ad will look in all of the placements. Now this is assuming that you're going to be running in all of the placements. I know you can preview ads by placement within the ad preview, but you have to toggle in between a couple different drop downs and settings to keep flipping and rotate to see how it is. In this case, if I can find my mouse, I can scroll down and review all placements immediately. So if I don't see anything that I like, let's say for whatever reason, I wasn't happy with how it looks on stories or reels at all, I could possibly look at making some adjustments. Like for instance, in the Instagram and Facebook reels, some of the primary text is there, but it's cut off. And if I go back up to the top, someone can click see more, but that's a lot of primary text. Do I expect someone on Reels to want to read a lot of text? No, they're probably watching my video, not really looking at this. So what I can do is go to the 3 dots next to the placement name, click on it, and possibly look at editing the placement. Now notice I'm just editing this one Reels placement. I'm not editing all 17. So if I go to primary text, here's where it is. I'm going to replace the whole thing, keeping it short and sweet. So when I look to the preview off to the side, it's not truncated. So as I save it, everything's going to reload. Notice how this one mentions the hours of material, and the one right next to it still has the long bulleted point primary text. Now that's just some of the copy, but notice any of the text elements can be updated in each of the placements. And not only the text elements, you can also update the creative itself. Look at this one. We're already getting yelled at because we have a video. Video is not an option for the right column. I would have to add in an image. If I don't have an image, I'm just not going to show in the right column. Look at things from a creative standpoint too. I wish I could pause all this stuff, but I can't. Maybe I'm not a fan with how small some of the text looks for Facebook Marketplace or the Instagram Explore Home. Like, look at this. Look at it. Nobody can read this. Would I want to run with this? Probably not. Maybe a small moving GIF or something would be better here. Again, I could just go into the Explore Home, open it up, edit the placement, and here's where I can change the video. Just look at all the different things that you could change per placement. Here's the video asset itself. I can crop and trim it just for this specific placement, change the thumbnail for this placement, change the primary text, destination URL, which we haven't added to the ad itself yet. If for whatever reason you need to change the captions per placement, because if I change the video, make it longer or shorter, and you have manual captions that you need to add, that could potentially change too. And any of the overlays. For now, I'm just going to leave things as is, but this gives you a very good preview to make sure that your ad is going to look as best as possible in every single placement before you even push it live. If you feel like a placement by placement change is just too much or just unnecessary, notice that you can make these changes by the main 3 placement types. So here's if you want to make a change to all square placements, changes to all vertical placements, changes to all horizontal placements, you can do it by the 3 categories instead of one by one. And besides, some of the placements that we did talk about, it's giving us additional warnings. So right now, the video I have is not going to work for Facebook in-stream for Reels. And then the one that we already talked about, the Instagram Explore. More warnings for me to go ahead and change what I need to change. So when I was adding the text in the previous step, there wasn't an option for URL. Let me add that in now. And then of course I added something new, so it totally refreshed. I can look and see everything is still in here. I didn't save any of the changes I made, but it will do that automatically. And then if you're done for now, you can just go back to this Mockups button. So here, this mockup will now live in your Creative Hub. Going back to the beginning when we first got in here, any of the collaborators that you've invited to Creative Hub will be able to review this. Now let's pretend we're the second person invited to the account. I'm the one who has to approve the creative that my team has made. That person can then go in, review everything, maybe make their changes, put the final stamp on it, and then if everything looks good, you have someone come in and double check it, they can click on this toggle here to show in Ads Manager. This is a very important step. Even if you go back to the Mockups page, you probably saw it already. Show in Ads Manager toggle is right here. This has to be checked. It's essentially turning it on. So when we actually go within our ad sets to build our ads, our Creative Hub mockups will not show up unless that toggle is turned on. So you can see how easy it is to start building your ads ahead of time and inviting your team here to collaborate, preview, optimize, make corrections, and get your ad ready before you need to launch anything. So then you can either go ahead, create a new mockup. Maybe you want to rebuild something from scratch. This time I want to do a carousel instead of a video, something like that. Or since before we were maybe talking about tone of the ad copy, I pretty much want to use the same assets and I want them optimized the same in all the placements. I just want to test a more fun headline, a different primary text that's more focused on value messages instead of just a long list of a massive thing of text if I feel people aren't going to read it. You can click on this menu option here and then just duplicate it. And clearly we can see this is the duplicated option because it hasn't been touched yet and the toggle is turned off. So then I can go in the second option by just clicking on that square, and it doesn't say duplicate or version 2 or anything. The ad name is the same. That's why your ad naming convention is important. I added this additional part on the end, let it know it's value copy. I would go in, change it to all my value messages, maybe make it a more lighthearted headline, whatever. There we see it's got a new title. If the team approved it, it looks good. And if you're continuously using Creative Hub, you're going to have a lot of mockups. That's why the naming conventions can be important. Maybe you want to search for anything that's all video. Of course, I'm going to have it here. If you have dozens of value-based copy, searching by your naming conventions of your mockups can be very important to help you find the ones that you want to use or possibly create for later on. If you need to find your holiday ads from the previous year because you want to stick with a similar theme because it worked very well, make sure you're naming it properly. So you can just search for your holiday ads, duplicate them, update all the content that needs to be updated, and it'll save you a lot of time to start prepping for next year. Okay, we've created our mockups. Now how do we actually add them to a campaign? Well, I got another tab open for Ads Manager. I'm just going to go in this traffic campaign that's already built, pick this ad set, ignore these two, and I'm just going to create an ad. Just going to put in the same ad name, click continue, and then scroll down a little bit. We want this ad setup section. I don't want to create an ad. I want to use a Creative Hub mockup. Just like before, I can search a mockup if you have tons of other mockups created, but I'm just going to choose the first one, click confirm, and here's everything in the preview. All of the individual placements should match what I have within the mockup. There was those 3 or 4 where I need to update the video or add an image. Those are still going to apply. I'd still have to go back and fix those. But if we scroll down, there's the URL I put in the mockup. Keep scrolling. There's the same primary text. There's the same headline. There's the same call to action. And to clarify, if you've gone within your ad set settings, and then let's say you're not using any of the Advantage Plus placements, you're still using manual placements, and you're turning off certain sections, the placement settings that you have chosen at the ad set level are going to override your ad placements. Just because you created a mockup that includes all the placements, it's not going to automatically turn them on if you have them turned off at the ad set setting. I was hoping that'd be pretty clear, but just in case, I wanted to include it just so you know. And then going back to the mockup, when I had those 2 or 3 placements that I never corrected, right? One of them was the Facebook right column. I needed to add an image here. Well, even if I wanted to be in everything, adding all these checks again, but I still didn't have a good image for the Facebook right column, I could just turn off that one placement. Even if I left it on, I didn't have a proper ad to fit that placement anyway, so I just wouldn't show. That's really all the benefits of Creative Hub. If I have the chance to work ahead to get a campaign set up and ready to go before an initial launch date, it's going to make the launch a lot easier and smoother. Organize your assets, organize your copy. You can compare and contrast different variants that you want to test against each other in Creative Hub to review before you may want to launch a specific ad copy test. To me, it's a lot easier to see the visuals of all the different placements than the actual ad preview. When I have to select between different devices, keep scrolling down where not everything is in here, and then I have to look and change between the different placements. No, I'd rather see everything all within one screen. Hopefully that helps you save a lot of time and make campaign prep a lot more easy. If you have any other questions about Creative Hub for Facebook or Instagram, and yes, even Threads, let us know in the comments.
Thanks for watching our video. We really appreciate it. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up below. If you really liked it, maybe think about subscribing to the Paid Media Pros YouTube channel and you'll get alerted every time a new video drops.
If you really liked it, you can help support the channel by checking out some of the t-shirts that we're wearing on our merch shelf, as well as looking at the Super Thanks button.